You are now listening to Mike's Opinion, Logic Unleashed.
That's right. You are now listening to the Mike's Opinion podcast. Thank you so much for listening. How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. You know, I always want to know. I always ask. This is a special episode that I'm dropping right now on Oscars night. Actually, it's the morning after, the very early morning after. I didn't watch the Oscars, but listen, if you haven't heard, drama ensued at the Oscars 2022. I don't usually do shows like this. I'm not a gossip show. My show is for the intellectual. My show is for the intelligent. My show is for the ones who like edutainment and just like to hear the opinion of a reasonably intelligent individual. Now, no Einstein. I'm not breaking down crazy scientific laws or the theory of relativity, but I do like to, try to educate you on certain things. And like I said, I'm not a gossip dude. That being said, Will Smith, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the dude that played Venus and Serena's father. Wow. Chris Rock was the host, if you don't know. And let me just tell you what happened, and then I will go back a little bit. Will Smith smacked Chris Rock in the face. And no, it was not a play slap. He was not playing. Understand me when I tell you, I don't know what's going on with Will, but I'm going to get back to that in a minute. So to give you a little backstory, Jada Pinkett Smith has alopecia. And basically alopecia is a skin disease and it causes your hair to fall out. Jada Pinkett has been very public about this. And during the Oscar ceremony, Oscar show, Chris Rock made a joke about Jada playing next G.I. Jane. Will Smith chuckled a bit. Then he proceeded to get up from his chair, walk up to the stage where Chris Rock was standing, and slap him in his face. Pause for a minute in case Chris wanted to do some things. Then proceeded to walk back to his chair and yell to the top of his lungs, telling Chris to keep his wife's name out of his fucking mouth. Yo! Oh, snap. This is going to trump the war in Russia. The war in Ukraine, with Russia invading Ukraine. This is going to trump the surge in crypto right now. I don't know if you check your crypto portfolios. Things seem to be rising. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope we all get rich. But listen, I don't even know if this is going to be the show for the week because I drop at noon Central Time every Wednesday, right? Y'all know that, y'all that follow me. And if you don't follow me, that's when I drop. Okay, every Wednesday, usually at noon, 12:01 to be exact. But I felt compelled to say something about this. And then let me tell you why. Will Smith and I around the same age. Grew up listening to Homie right before he was even on the TV. Will has some fresh joints, like brand new funk that was really banging. I'm not talking about that parents understand thing. Will's always had a clean image, but it seems like Will is troubled. You know what I'm saying? Like he's leaning into his true self and don't give a fuck who cares about it. I saw a tweet his son Jaden represents him and said, that's the way we do it. Listen, we've all done things, potentially regrettable things in the heat of the moment, right? That we look back and say, damn, I wish I'd have done that. Especially in sadness, but most especially in anger. Now, like I said, my man Will, I can say my man, I don't know the brother, never met him. I've been in many parties with many famous people. I never ran into Will at none of the parties and clubs and stuff that I used to go to in New York in my younger days. I partied a little bit when I lived out in Cali, but, I wasn't moving in those circles as heavy as I was in New York. But, I feel like I grew up with my man. I feel like I know him. He's been, out there. Of course, I don't know him, like I said, but like a lot of us, we feel like we have a sense of him. But if you look at what Will has been doing recently, if you look at Red Table Talk, if you look at the show about Earth, where he's running around Earth, going underwater and walking in volcanoes and, doing stuff like that. You think about the public disgrace with Jada. And this is why having the right spouse is so important, because in my opinion, he's rolled hard with Jada, but Jada don't really love him like that. It's one-sided. She said she didn't really want to get married. Everybody says she was down with Pac, but when she just let it out that, she had a thing, I can't remember, she phrased it a certain way with August Alsina, the rapper / singer. Does he sing? I don't think he sings, but, and then people on social media posting pictures with them where she's all hugged up with him. All the meantime, he's stabbing Will in the back, sleeping with his wife, chilling in his house. Yo, listen, like I said, I don't do these gossip shows because, this is the Mike's Opinion podcast. And when I apply logic to this, a lot of this shit is super hyper logical and some of it is illogical. I never ever rule out the fact that Jada, Will, and Chris Rock could have had a meeting beforehand and wanted to get their names on Blaze, which this definitely accomplished, and might have planned the whole thing. Because keep in mind, we're dealing with actors. However, I don't believe this is scripted, and I'll tell you why. You can script stuff, but would you risk catching an assault charge? Because this is clearly an open and shut case of assault, and it's on video and everybody saw it. Unprovoked, physically unprovoked, emotionally provoked, right? But where is Will Smith at in his life? I can tell you as a 50-something man, black man here in America, that, the stresses get to you, trying to be true to yourself, trying to keep it real, and all of that, right? Now, there's been many, and there's going to be many more, including this one, commentary, opinions about Will being right or wrong. Now, have you ever been in the heat of a moment where it's almost like your physical reaction, your physical reflex takes over your ability to be reasonable about something? And I think that's what's happened. Now, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, right? They may be real public and divulge a lot, but maybe they haven't divulged everything. Because when Chris Rock told the joke, the G.I. Jane joke, the camera panned quickly to Jada. Jada was not amused. Jada Pinkett Smith did not find that funny. Now, we don't know if it's something deeper than alopecia. Maybe it's chemotherapy and cancer. We don't know what their family is going through. So there may be much more to this Will Smith walking up on stage. Now, Will could have closed fist hit him and just wailed on him because Chris Rock was not expecting that shit. He watched Will Smith. He's like, he didn't know what was going to happen. But Will didn't go off on him and just start beating him down. Will didn't punch him in the face. He slapped him. Now, slapping goes back, like way back. You know, you challenge to somebody to a duel, you slap them with your glove or slap them with your hand. A slap is, just that. It's like, yo, shut your mouth. I'm really not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to get your attention. And funny enough, when Will yelled to Chris Rock to keep his wife's name out his fucking mouth, Chris said, I will. As of right now, this is fresh. Right now, I'm up late all the time. I'm always working and grinding on something. It's about 3:00 in the morning. It's just after, 3 o'clock in the morning Central Time, Monday morning, the 28th of March. And as of right now, it's being said Chris Rock is not going to press charges. We don't know if the state of California has an obligation to press charges. We don't know if the Academy, because spoiler alert, I'm about to tell you who won an Oscar. So if you don't want to listen, if you're saving it, fast forward a minute or two, not even a minute, probably 30 seconds, but I'm about to tell you. So spoiler alert. But Will Smith won Best Oscar for the film portraying Venus and Serena Williams' dad. That was after he slapped Chris Rock. So we don't know if they're going to take the Oscar back. Will Smith gave a powerful speech afterwards about protecting people. And he was crying. He apologized to the Academy. But yo, this is unexpected only because it's Will Smith. Now, Will Smith has a video of him being semi-assaulted on another award red carpet several years ago and slapping a dude. I think it was one of these, I don't even think it was a rabid fan. I think this guy had a show and he was yanking Will by the neck and hugging him all tight, very disrespectfully. And, Will said, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get off of me. And he just lightly tapped him with a backhand smack. Will survived in Hollywood. He's played tough heroes, always with a comedic spin. But I dare say, now I don't know for sure, but I don't think Will Smith is no punk. And I have said this many times on my show. Growing up in Harlem in the South Bronx, I could have fought a lot more than I did, but to me it's dumb and it's irrational. The more intelligent you are, the more you realize violence is dumb. However, anyone, even the most kindest person, can be triggered to defend themselves or defend others. You know what I'm saying? And that's anyone. Anyone. Now, I grew up with a lot of dudes that couldn't wait to meet God. Dudes that just thrived on the drama, that loved to fight. Like, loved it. Like, they lived for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I know dudes that just love that hate. I know dudes that's doing life. Dudes. Not just one. I know people that's in prison and they ain't never getting out. I know a lot of dead people. Okay, growing up in the streets of Harlem, New York in the 70s, 80s, 90s is, listen, I've seen it. And I myself have experienced it. I wonder if you have too. Tell me. Message me, mikesopinionshow@gmail.com is the email address, mikesopinionshow@gmail.com. You can find it in the show notes. And you can hit me up on any of the socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm all over the place. Let me know what you think about this Will Smith slapping Chris Rock in the face. Because, this is crazy. Now, a lot of people said, well, why you ain't slap August Alsina? I don't know why. Who knows? I know Will Smith's son is repping him as a son should, right? But here's the thing. I talked to my wife briefly about that, or about this tonight, and I am outside looking in. But what I see is a man who loves his wife more than his wife loves him, who loves more, loves harder, and the history says that. So what do you do with that? Huh? What do you do with that when the scales are unbalanced? And they say the scales are unbalanced in every relationship. It's very rare where the love is equally matched. They say you can tell by who lets go of the hug first. They love the least. It's not often that we meet our match, like 100% match that loves us the same. Someone always loves more. And I believe they've acknowledged it. They've accepted it. I remember, I think it was Red Table Talk too, their Jada Pinkett's show. You know, she said they signed off. Her and Will signed off and said, you know, like they said, Bad Boys, you know, Will Smith played bad in the Bad Boys movies with Martin Lawrence. Well, he said, you know, bad marriage for life. Like they just so committed that they refuse to walk away. And I'm wondering at this point, why? The kids are grown. Why stay in that marriage? Leave. Why cut your nose off just to spite your face to say, oh, we stayed married? And I would dare say it's probably Will leading that charge. He's like, no, we're not getting a divorce. Divorce is not an option. And I think at some point there's a song that says you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. It's a country song talking about playing cards, playing poker. You got to know when to throw in that hand. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Will would be in the space he's in. And of course, I'm speculating, right? But I don't think he would be in the space he's in right now had he left Jada a long time ago. And I'm not an advocate for walking away from a marriage because it's tough. I'm married. It's my second marriage. Being with one person in a committed relationship is tough. But I have a unique situation. If you want to know, you can listen to other episodes. You can listen to We Just Had Sex, which has my wife on it. You can listen to Gay Part 2, which has my wife on it. You can get a little insight into my personal relationship, my marriage, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I say I have a unique relationship. So I had to chime in on this shit because it's like, wow. Now, Chris Rock is from Brooklyn, right? His brother, Chris ain't never really came across as no punk. He's played some soft roles, but he's got to be a big man not to press charges and accept this, even if Will publicly apologizes, which he has not. Now, a lot of people said, based on a lot of the commentary, yo, comedians got jokes. Don't trip. Will should have took this backstage. But if you look at Will, if you look at any current shows, Will seems like he in a dark place, man. Will seem like he's in a funky, like a, I don't know any other term. Like he's in a dark place. And like I said, I think it may stem from the woman he's with. Do you know anyone Or are you in a relationship that's clearly toxic? That's clearly problematic. And you know that the two people will be better apart than together. What do you do? Will Smith doesn't want to seem like a failure. For whatever reason, he wants to stay in there. His mom and dad, he watched his mom and dad stay in there, and they, you know, there was domestic violence involved. You know, when he left his first wife, it hurt him. And I believe he said he was never going to do that again. Yeah, listen, I'm tripping because I didn't even know about this. Like I said, I didn't watch the Oscars. My wife brought this to my attention, and she said, you got to see this video. And I said, oh, snap. Now, could Jada or should Jada have grabbed Will when she saw him getting up and saying, no. We'll handle this backstage. She ain't know why he was getting up. Supposedly, right? If this is unscripted, if this is true to the moment, she knew what it was. She had to know what it was. Why she ain't go grab him and say, no, come back. Or at least yell, Will, no, don't do that. Let me tell you something. There are women, and I'm not saying all women, but there are some women that love the rah-rah, that love the drama, that are never satisfied with anything you do. Now, Will Smith has cried and been embarrassed and shamed on her Red Table Talk show. It is now public knowledge that she was fucking and sucking August Alsina and most likely in their crib. Will knows she much rather would have been with Tupac. At what point do you look yourself in the mirror and say, it's time? If anybody knows Will and think he needs to hear this, send it to him. And Will, I know you and I would get along and we would be cool, but I'm not trying to do that. You know, I'm not a groupie dude. I'm not trying to like befriend you. I'm not trying to get you to reach out or nothing like that. But at some point, I want you to ask yourself, when do you become a little selfish? Deservedly selfish. When do you accept the fact that the possibility may exist that the woman you chose was not the ideal one, no matter how good she looked to you? Like, think back. Supposedly it went down like this. Jada was on a different world. Will was getting divorced from Sherry or whatever her name was, his ex-wife's name. And he called Jada and said, hey, are you dating anyone? She said no. He said, well, you are now. Jada now looks back and regretfully says she was stupid to agree to that, but she did nevertheless. But what prompted you to make that call? You had met her, you had vibed with her, but just on the outside looking in again, like I said, I'm speculating. This is purely observational. You just seem like that really wasn't like the one for you. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z and Beyonce, I don't know. They seem more matched, but they don't seem right for each other neither. But I don't know neither one of them neither. And I will reiterate again. This is speculation. I don't know these motherfuckers. However, I am a very perceptive person, very observant person, more so than a normal. I can easily read the verbal and nonverbal clues, the signals. Now, once again, I will never, ever rule out when you're dealing with actors that it could all be for fluff. Because at the worst case, what's an assault charge going to get you? Even if he got fully convicted and, Chris, pressed full charges and the city, county, and state pressed full charges. Like, what's the worst Will looking at? Does he have any priors? He gonna have a good lawyer, the best. So he'll probably get what? If he did time, that would be a surprise. But he probably get some probation. Would he even need an ankle monitor? But even if he went to jail, it might be for a year or two. And that's not going to be ruled out because, Cosby was sitting in jail for a while and there's been countless others that have been in jail. Supposedly. These days, no one is above the law. Right? Will Smith smacked the shit out of Chris Rock. I'm bugging. But it really wasn't. It didn't land flush. Like, it didn't land flush. Like, it wasn't that full palm and all the fingers pop. Cause Chris dodged just a little bit. I guess he finally realized when the swing was in motion that he was about to get smacked. Not the first comedian to draw, drama, because comedians, they make fun a lot of times wildly inappropriately so, based on somebody's pain, based on somebody's suffering. And we are supposed to give them a pass for comedic license, right? It's all in the sake of the joke. It's all in fun. It's all in laughter. But some of that shit crosses the fucking line. Some of that shit, I can't even say borders on insulting. Part of it isn't funny. Even though a lot of people laughed at the joke. And Chris himself said, that smile, that's nothing. Right? But we've seen these roasts. We've seen these comedians in action point out somebody in the crowd, talk mad shit about him, belittle him, and make him feel bad. And that person wish they never went to that comedy show. So these jokes that cost someone pain and strife, they ain't always funny. Especially if you the butt of that. Especially if you're the target of that joke. So tonight, a comedian talked about a man's wife who may have cancer and at the very least suffers from a skin disease called alopecia, and the husband wasn't having it. I'm an anti-violent person. Y'all know that. I'm not about the violence. However, late in life, I learned that violence is necessary on planet Earth. Think about it. How you think your chicken, your beef, your pork, your fish, how you think all that gets to your plate? You think it's a non-violent act? I don't care how smoothly or humanely you try to kill something. Unless you're Dr. Kevorkian and inject a cocktail that's going to put you to sleep where you never wake up, all of that meat has to be slaughtered. It is a violent act. And the mass produced meat, you probably don't want to know. If you haven't seen, you don't want to know how these animals are killed. We have a long history, us humans do, of violence. And I have said on many episodes, I think something's fundamentally flawed with us. So, I'm on Will Smith's side with this. Just for the record. I could understand. I can't say I'm on his side. It would have been better if you heard in the tabloids or the news that Will Smith beat Chris Rock's ass backstage. It was so public. Like, you ever heard, like I said, you ever had that feeling just well up in you and your body you just take over and you do some shit that you shouldn't do? But it happens. But I'm seeing all some of these public figures chiming in so far. Rob Reiner. That was bullshit. There's no excuse for that. I seen Stephen A. Smith, the ESPN kid, talk about that shit was wrong. You shouldn't have done that. Fuck, you don't know what's going on with these people. You don't know how that hit. How that hit, Will. They had pictures, they being Will Smith and Jada, Will and Jada Smith. They had pictures before the Oscars. They was together. It was hand in hand. They were together. Okay? It wasn't like they came separately. Nah, they got down together. They had the photo shoots beforehand. All the fluff, all the that Hollywood shit. You know what I'm saying? That famous people shit that they do. That's what they were doing. So clearly they were spending a day together. Maybe they're trying to salvage their marriage. I don't know. What I do know is that I understand a man feeling compelled and feeling the need to do something in the moment. Not thinking clearly about the circumstances. Not thinking clearly about the repercussions. Not thinking clearly of what an example he is to so many people. Like our black males, right? Who you got? The clean ones, the ones that have these sparkling reputations. You got Will and Denzel. I don't know. That's all that come to mind right now. Surely there must be more, right? There's got to be more. But those are the ones that ain't got yet. Ain't got set up to be the bad guy. Like I said, Bill Cosby was the Jello pudding, Fat Albert Cosby show, cleanest dude out there. As it turns out, there's a possibility, and I still say possibility because I'm not sure. I wasn't there. I don't know if these women knew what it was or not. Some of them did because they kept coming back. But would slip them a Mickey, do what he was going to do in order to advance their career. But I'm not going there. I'm not talking about that. But I'm just saying he had a very clean image. Even though he was a dirty comedian, some of Bill's shit, like his adult shit, was just raunchy. But I wanted to chime in on this. Of course, I want people to listen to my show. Right? This is a hot topic. I don't usually do gossip. I'm going to throw it out there. But I kid you not, and I'm being honest, that is not my motivation for doing this episode. I'm being true to me and to Mike's opinion. I wanted to share my opinion about this now because I didn't want to wait till midweek. I wanted to give my fresh thoughts about this fresh off the dome because, like I said, I feel not connected to Will Smith, but like this is one, people get like really invested. I'm not a groupie. I'm like a Hollywood dude. I know a lot of famous people. I know famous people. They put on their pants one leg at a time, just like we do. Like some people get in front of famous people and like, they can't talk. Like they get speeches. I'm not that dude. I'm just not, never have been. But I feel like I've taken a ride with him because we're in the same age. I've watched him and related to him. He's been very relatable to me. So that's why I felt like I had to say something today right now, because, I feel almost the same way about Chris. I like Chris. Chris is a funny motherfucker, and I've seen some movies he's in, he's an alright actor, but, Chris thing is on that stage. And I still remember a joke When he said when he's at the ATM, he's not scared of black people. He said he's scared of niggas. And that's a word I don't even say. So I thought that was funny. One of the other funny jokes Chris Rock said was, and I can't remember the context, but he said, a man is only as faithful as his options. I thought that was funny. So I like both of these dudes. So the fact that this went down the way it did tonight, like I said, again, assuming and most likely it not being staged, my true, real feelings is about Will. My concerns, I should say. I'm concerned. Like, who's checking on Will? Who checking for him? Because as of late, it seems like Will Smith is in a dark place, in an unsettled and unhappy place. And Jada don't seem the type to check on him. Like, she just don't seem like she cares. Jaden and Willow, that's their dad, but they Hollywood kids. I don't know. They seem disconnected. They don't, I'm pretty sure they're holding them down. They gotta be. Like I said, I don't know. I don't want to say some shit that I just don't know. I'm just speculating, but they're the kids. It's not their responsibility to save their father if he's headed in a direction. It seems to me like Will Smith is headed in a direction. And that direction is not a good one. I hope this is not the beginning of behaviors where we see Will Smith spiral downward out of control. Because he's an emotional fella. And he's been there and done that. And I remember this line from a Diddy song. He said, "What do you do with what used to get you high don't get you high no more?" Right? What do you do for the thrill when what you used to doesn't thrill you anymore? And the other insight I can provide is just as a mid-50 something year old man, black man in America. The metamorphosis, the change in physicality, the change in mentality is a real one. That movement into the next phase, the later phase of your life. We've all heard the term midlife crisis, right? The 60-year-old man goes out and gets a red Corvette. And I'm not sponsored, so me mentioning the word Corvette, they ain't not paying me. On that note, please support the show. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, comment, do all of that. Please, I'd really appreciate it. And if you can donate, this is a value for value show. I don't read ads. I'd like to keep it that way, but making this show is not free. Producing this show is not free, even though it's free for you to consume. So if you can contribute $1, go to my GoFundMe or hit me up on PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. It would be greatly appreciated because I need shit for this show. Equipment, advertising. And if you want to do any of that in kind, that would be great as well. But I do need your support. But, the midlife crisis thing where, they go get a sports car. Mid-50s, 60s, because you need to feel young. Or you start dating a girl 30 years younger than you, 40 years younger than you. Right? You 60, you dating a 20-year-old. I know how these things feel. Now I'm married to a woman that's considerably younger than me. More than 10 years younger than me. But that was long before my midlife crisis. We've been together over 10 years. So I can't even say I'm in crisis. Personally, I'm in a good space, I think. Will Smith, I hope you okay, man. I really do. I think this is going to be a surprise for not only you slapping, but you yelling like a dude from the street. Yo, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Like, that ain't some shit you expect Will Smith to just yell out at the Oscars publicly. Like, he didn't seem like he was drunk or on something either. He seemed sober and coherent. So, I don't know. I feel like I need to say, pray for Will Smith and his family. Pray for Chris Rock and his family. Like I said, I'm not in shock, but I'm definitely surprised. Will Smith smacked Chris Rock at the Oscars in 2022. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let me know what you think. I'm Mike, and this is the Mike's Opinion Podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much for listening to Mike's Opinion. Logic Unleashed.